Hi, I'm Brett Hickey, founder and CEO of Starmount Capital. Excited to be here today with you to talk about insights from the Peak with Peak Altitude Partners, co-founder and co-CIO, Rich Boghosian. Rich, thank you for joining today.
Thanks, Brett. I appreciate having me.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about your firm, why you guys started it, what your objectives are.
Sure. Yeah. So as you said, I'm a co-founder of Peak Altitude Partners, or PeakAlts. We're a private investment firm focused on curating alternative investments for the private wealth segment. We partner with RIAs, family offices, high net worth individuals to help increase their exposure to alternatives and private market investments. We operate in an OCIO-like capacity, serving at both enterprise level down to bringing investment opportunities to our clients.
That's great. It's interesting, the concept of alternatives almost makes it sound like it's the smaller segment of the market, when in fact the private markets is over 90% of all businesses that have over 100 million of revenues in the United States. So as we think about private markets, how are you helping your clients optimize the value of their portfolio, and what ultimately do you see as the opportunities to help clients with private markets? What are you looking to achieve with it?
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, today there's half as many public companies to that point as there were 30 years ago. And there's this huge opportunity that you can't get exposure to by investing in the public markets. And for us, our job, we're investors at heart. That's our background. We're focused on identifying what's going to bring the best net risk adjusted return to our clients, and our focus is entirely private markets. So within that, as we think about it, there are a lot of benefits to investing in private markets to complement a public market portfolio, and there's varying degrees of what's the right mix. Is it 50-30-20 or versus a traditional 60-40, and how you think about allocation to alternatives. But getting that right mix, there's a benefit on both the return side to increase return potential within a portfolio balanced with lower volatility, lower risk when you're in the right investments. And obviously that's the big question of how do you identify what those right investments are. And for us, as we think about it, there's a big dispersion of returns as you think about investment managers in the private market from bottom quartile to top quartile. And that's really where it matters when you think about client perspective on, well, what do I ultimately invest in, and how does that get to that complement within your public market portfolio?
That's great, and especially in today's environment where we have different political concerns, different geopolitical concerns, macro concerns, the importance of selection, and what are the strategies that are going to perform well, and what are the managers. What are some of the key things you think about today as you think about the importance of manager selection to find specialists who are really great at what they do, and making sure that that's going to be something that persists, because we can all look at the past, but investing is in the future. So what are some key things that you focus on in your manager selection?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I mean, that's why we exist, and our purpose to get in, not just from sourcing, creating access to opportunities, but getting through the diligence and looking at their strategies that we feel will have long-term stability to provide that return potential, lower risk potential, and perform for our client base. And some of those aspects as we think about it, and we're open to both emerging managers up to established, but team's a key component, strategy's a key component. The days of the 2010s where everything was up and to the right are past us, and there's really a lot more involvement needed to perform well within the private markets. And I think you get the benefit of that stability within private markets that you don't necessarily see with some of the volatility you're getting in today's age with some of the macro concerns. But as we think about managers where they have an established strategy, right to win, they've done it well, they're not entering something new that they haven't performed in. These are a lot of the boxes we like to check when we think about managers that we're working with, and then how do they go and accomplish that strategy? What value can they bring to an investment? Not just getting in, letting it sit, hoping for the best, but getting actively involved from an operational standpoint and inflecting some of that change that we think is some of the benefit you see in private markets versus public.
That's great. Yeah, and I think that's where the point of specialists that can really say, I'm built and I'm designed to understand the challenges and the opportunities, and therefore an investment manager can build a business to work with and drive that operational value. That, to your point, the days of just market beta being along for the ride are over, and it's really how are you great at what you do. How do you guys think about the valuation opportunity as well? You talk about the return potential and risk-adjusted return. For example, building a company operationally from the lower middle market to the middle market, where valuations are systematically 25 to 50% higher just by growing a business. Is that an example of one of the areas you look to try to create and extract alpha for your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've spent over a decade as a lower middle market investor, and I've seen that happen firsthand as you see the value potential that you can create within that segment of the market. And these companies are typically less mature, there's sometimes less sophistication, and there's that ability to come in and start to implement some of those things that will really help enhance that value as the company grows, and you get that step benefit as you open up a new buyer universe that does pay more. There's higher valuations, and you can grow into those and help bring in some of that return potential that we've talked about.
That's awesome. Rich, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brett.
Good luck with building your business, and we're a big believer as well in the opportunities for private markets. So congratulations, and
Thank you.
wish you great success.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you having me.